You're listening to Excellence Above Talent, a podcast where we have the hard conversations about the lives of men and what leads us to achieve greatness and suffer defeat. Hear from other men's journeys as well, as we all learn and grow together to become inspirations to ourselves and those around us. And now your host, Aaron Thomas.
What's up, my beautiful people? Aaron Thomas with Excellence Above Talent. I want to tell y'all that life is good. I know people walk around here and it seems like life can sometimes be overwhelming. I know the last couple of weeks on my podcast, it seems like there's a lot of things going on in my life and it's overwhelming. But I can honestly tell you that I am living my best life in this moment, not because of what's going on with me financial or career-wise, physical, emotional, but I'm really focusing on my spiritual life, and that has really given me a sense of purpose. It has opened my eyes to a lot of different things that need to happen in my life, and it is a process that I am starting to enjoy. I'm starting to enjoy the little things in life. I'm starting to enjoy fighting for what it is that I want or what it is that I'm trying to accomplish. I'm not giving up and walking away. I'm focused and I'm loving life. And so I wanted this podcast to be a simple podcast, a quick podcast, just to allow people to know that life gets better. It might seem overwhelming right now. You might not know where the money is coming from or how you're going to pay your bills, maybe what you're going to eat. But there's always someone or something that will show up and show out and help you in this process. So don't get discouraged. Don't give up. Don't quit. I'll tell you this. The last couple of weeks, I've been having a hard time jumping on the podcast and talking. It's been brutal. I've had to force myself to do it. There are times where I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and jump on the podcast to do the podcast. And it's my mind telling me that I'm getting out of my comfort zone and to get back into my comfort zone. Stop doing the podcast. Stop putting it out at 6 a.m. every Friday. Stop editing my podcast. Stop getting up. Stop putting forth content because this is way out of my comfort zone. It might be surprising to a lot of people, but I don't want to carry this work burden or this weight that has been given to me. I want to go into a room and just do what I do and to be left alone. But for some odd reason, God has called me to be up in the front. On the battle line, first in line, fighting. And there's a lot going on in my life that I don't want to fight. I just want to lay down. I want to sleep and not wake up. But God has put something in me to where I can't stop thinking. I can't stop moving. I want to do His will. His will must be done in my life. I don't know where He is taking me. And it is also scary because His way of doing things are way grandiose versus the way that I think things are going to work out. And so for the last couple of weeks, I would say, has been difficult when it comes to jumping on the podcast and expressing my feelings. I've honestly gotten scared. I started to care about what people say or think. So I was afraid to put things out. I was afraid to be vulnerable with my feelings and emotions because at the end of the day, it's scary giving people power or giving people assumed power over you by giving them information that they don't have so that they can potentially use it against you. Maybe not on you, but give your information to other people to try and deter them from listening to what it is that you have to say. And so I wanted to pull back. I wanted to just be quiet and go about my life quietly. But there's something inside of me that won't allow it. And so even this week, I'm having a hard time recording this podcast, there's a level of discipline that I'm creating while doing it. And I think sometimes we as human beings expect the things that we're doing to be easy or fun all the time. But there are some periods in your life where you might not want to do the things that you're doing, but the things need to get done in order to live your best life. The things have to get done in order to create some level of discipline in your life. I started this podcast October 29th of 2021. I have been thinking about doing a podcast for 2 years. 2 years. Just thinking about it, not putting anything into action. I bought the mic for this podcast a year ago, essentially a year ago. And then something clicked on that day, October 29th of 2021. I grabbed the mic, I went to my office space, and I started speaking. And once I finished, it was 18 minutes. I did not even edit that podcast, y'all. I put it on Buzzsprout and I published it, forcing myself to now put out episodes every week on Friday at 6 a.m. And I have not missed 1 week. There have been weeks where I have missed my deadline when it talks about 6 a.m. publishing it, but I've always published on Friday and I haven't missed 1 week. This could also be the trick of the devil. Maybe there's someone who is really benefiting from this podcast. There's someone who is listening and needing the words that I'm saying, and he wants to deter me or discourage me from doing it. So he puts these negative thoughts in my head, or I allow him to put these negative thoughts in my head. But in this moment in my life, the positive thoughts outweigh my negative thoughts. That's why every week I continue to push through and fight on, despite not feeling or wanting to. And in my life, there's a lot of times where I don't feel or I want to, but I do it anyway. And I've been the most blessed in those aspects, pushing myself, forcing myself to try, even when, it doesn't seem like I have the energy to. But I've also experienced people in this community that tell me thank you for putting my voice in the airs to be heard, for talking about my struggles and my issues and telling me that they're able to now look at themselves in a different light because of my struggles, because of my testimony. And I feel like I'm coming around. I'm getting remotivated to put more effort and energy into this podcast. I want to hear people's stories. I love talking to people and hearing their stories. And so we want to start that back up very soon. I'm working on getting people set up for interviews so that you can hear a side of two stories and not just one. Because I believe there's healing in talking. I believe there's healing in communication. I believe there's healing in telling your story. So this podcast, Low Key, is a podcast where I want you to know and understand you are amazing, that you are uniquely made, and you are beautiful just the way you are. You don't have to force yourself to try to be something you're not in order for others to like you. You don't need permission to be yourself. Being yourself is the most courageous thing you can do in your entire life. Looking in the mirror each and every day and loving the skin that you're in. Loving yourself, flaws and all. I have sinned. I have broken promises. I have hurt people. But I can look in the mirror and be proud of the man I am and the man I'm becoming. Because there's no one in this world that isn't broken. There's no one in this world that doesn't have difficult times or has made bad choices and decisions that affected them and the people in their life. And the only way you don't get better from making bad choices is if you allow people to keep you in those bad choices. You are uniquely made. You are beautiful. You deserve the best. You deserve the best for you for your family, everything you touch, whatever it is that you do, the people that surround you, you deserve the best. And if it's not the best, ask yourself, why are you hanging around or allowing mediocre things and mediocre people to be in your life? I love people, and I don't want to see people hurting. But there are a lot of people hurting. I see it with my own eyes because they feel like they have to be something or someone that they're not. One thing that helped me in my process of getting more confidence and loving myself more was affirmations. I wake up every day and I tell myself I am amazing, that I'm handsome, that I am a good person, that I am going to do great things, that I am going to change the world. And when those negative thoughts pop in, I give myself affirmations. Because at the end of the day, if I don't check my negative state, it'll always win. It's easier to be negative than positive. It's easier to find fault in everyone else's flaws than to view that person as a human being and to give them grace. So this is going to be a quick podcast. I just want you to know that you're awesome. You're amazing. Do not quit. Do not give up, because this world does not get easier. But if you keep pressing forward, if you keep pushing, if you keep fighting, you will get all you want from this world. And I am in that moment. I am in the act of pushing forward and fighting to get what is mine in this world. Because why not? I hope y'all have a good weekend. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Happy Memorial Day. I can't wait to sit down and talk to y'all next week. And I will be having a guest on. I'm just not sure who yet. But for the next couple of weeks, I'll probably be sitting down, talking to people. And if you want to be on the podcast, if you want to tell your story, if you want to talk about real issues that are happening in your life, in this world, reach out to me. I would love to have you on my show. I hope y'all have a good rest of your day. Happy Friday. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And for daily motivational and up-to-date content, follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Excellence Above Talent. And remember, keep moving forward, never give up, and you are never alone in this battle. We'll see you next time.